Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Saira Mujtaba. The headlines. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri accuses Pakistan of repeated ceasefire violations, says Indian forces giving adequate and appropriate response to it. Union Home Secretary Govind Mohan holds meeting with Chief Secretaries of States sharing border with Pakistan. Southwest monsoon to hit Kerala coast early this year, brightening outlook for crops. Bangladesh interim government bans all activities of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's Awami League party. United States and Iran to hold fresh round of nuclear talks in Oman today. And BCCI and IPL Governing Council to discuss resumption of IPL 2025 following announcement of ceasefire between India and Pakistan. And now the news in detail. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri has said that there have been repeated violations of ceasefire, which was arrived at with Pakistan yesterday. Briefing reporters in New Delhi, Mr. Misri said, the armed forces are giving an adequate and appropriate response to these violations, and New Delhi takes a very serious note of these violations. India has called upon Pakistan to take appropriate steps to address these violations and deal with the situation with seriousness and responsibility. Mr. Misri said the armed forces are maintaining a strong vigil on the situation. He said they have been given instructions to deal strongly with any instances of repetition of violations along the international border as well as the line of control.
पिछले कुछ घंटों से इस समझौते का पाकिस्तान की ओर से घोर उल्लंघन हो रहा है। भारतीय सेना जवाबी कार्रवाई कर रही है और इस सीमा अतिक्रमण से निपट रही है। ये अतिक्रमण अत्यंत ही निंदनीय है और पाकिस्तान इनके लिए जिम्मेदार है। हमारा मानना है कि पाकिस्तान इस स्थिति को ठीक से समझे और इस अतिक्रमण को रोकने के लिए तुरंत उचित कार्रवाई करे।
We spoke to defense analyst Lieutenant General Rajiv Chopra about the ceasefire violations by Pakistan.
As you are aware that Pakistan carried out unprovoked violation of ceasefire hours after bilateral agreement was reached yesterday evening. Drone activities, small arms fire and artillery sharing was carried out by Pakistan all along the borders and the line of control, which was retaliated by the brave Indian troops in a befitting manner. Misinformation campaign continues to be spread by Pakistan by various social media posts. My advice to the citizens of India is to remain strongly behind the government and the Indian armed forces against all nefarious designs of the Pakistan army and follow all civil defense protocols. No drones firing or shelling was reported since late last night. India maintains a firm and uncompromising stance against all forms of terrorism and will continue to give a befitting reply to any Pakistan's misadventure.
Earlier in the day, India and Pakistan announced ceasefire, agreeing to stop firing and military action with immediate effect. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri made this announcement in New Delhi. He said Pakistan's Director General of Military Operations initiated the call for ceasefire, after which discussions took place and an understanding was reached. Mr. Misri said the Directors General of Military Operations of both the nations will talk again tomorrow.
The Director General of Military Operations of Pakistan called the Director General of Military Operations of India. It was agreed between them that both sides would stop all firing and military action on land and in the air and sea with effect. Instructions have been given on both sides to give effect to this understanding. The Directors General of Military Operations will talk again on the 12th of May at 1200 hours.
Sources said the stoppage of firing and military action between India and Pakistan was worked out directly between the two countries. They stressed that there is no decision to hold talks on any other issue at any other place. Union Home Secretary Govind Mohan held a meeting through video conferencing yesterday with Chief Secretaries of States sharing border with Pakistan. Sources said they have been asked to remain alert and activate civil defense mechanism in their areas in case of any firing from across the border. This came hours after India and Pakistan announced ceasefire. Pakistan's army misfired a missile that missed its target and landed near a Gurudwara in its own civilian populated area. The blast shattered windows, causing panic among the Sikh community. This failure could have resulted in mass casualties as it struck during prayer hours. This is not only a technical failure but a diplomatic and social disaster, as it involved a religious minority that already faces systemic discrimination in Pakistan. Pakistan's missile system has a long record of poor targeting and guidance failure. In 2022, during a routine test of a short-range missile, the projectile crashed within its own territory, damaging farmland and injuring villagers. A similar incident took place in 2024 that raised questions about Pakistan's quality assurance and system integrity. Touted as Pakistan's pride, Fateh-1 missile has proven to be a complete disaster. While Islamabad's weaponry fails, its army officers are busy making TikTok videos to impress the public. Instead of training or strategizing, they are turning military service into social media performers. Even Pakistani officials are stage-playing to distract the public and remain relevant. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our X handle at AIR News Alerts. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and download the News on AIR app. Welcome back. You're listening to Morning News. Government has said that several combat gaming videos are being deceptively circulated as real footages of recent India-Pakistan conflict and urged people not to fall prey to such propaganda posts. The fact-check unit of Press Information Bureau (PIB) said combat gaming footages are flooding social media, with video game scenes being deceptively presented as actual combat, and digital combat clips are being misrepresented as real footage. It urged people to stay vigilant. We have a report.
A message is also circulating on WhatsApp in the name of Office of the Defence Minister of India, giving instructions for civil preparedness in view of the India-Pakistan situation. PIB said this message is fake. It said Government of India has issued no such instructions. Listeners, as Pakistan has resorting to spreading false propaganda on social media, it is crucial to scrutinize every piece of information carefully in this critical time. If you encounter dubious content, especially concerning the Indian Armed Forces or any information related to the ongoing situation, they must report it to PIB Fact Check. They can also share such content on WhatsApp number 8799 711 259 and email ID socialmedia@pib.gov.in. Unpermished, Delhi.
Delhi Airport continued to run its operation smoothly. In an advisory, Delhi International Airport Limited or DIAL said, however, in the light of evolving airspace dynamics and heightened security protocols mandated by the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, there may be adjustments to flight schedules and longer wait times at security checkpoints. It said passengers are encouraged to stay updated through their respective airlines' communication channels, adhere to prescribed guidelines for cabin and check-in baggage, arrive well in advance to accommodate possible security delays, extend full cooperation to airline and security personnel for efficient facilitation, and verify flight status through the airline or the official Delhi Airport website. It strongly advised all passengers to depend exclusively on official updates for accurate information and to refrain from circulating unverified content. In Bangladesh, the interim government headed by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus has banned all activities of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's Awami League party under the Anti-Terrorism Act until the trial of the party and its leaders is completed. Our correspondent reports that the Council of Advisors came up with a decision at its special meeting held in Dhaka last night.
The interim government of Bangladesh banned all activities of the Bangladesh Awami League, including in cyberspace, under the Anti-Terrorism Act until the trial of the party and its leaders is completed at the International Crimes Tribunal. The decision was made during a special meeting of the Advisory Council. The meeting also approved amendment to the International Crimes Tribunals Act, allowing for the prosecution of political parties, its affiliated organizations or supporters groups. The ban comes amid escalating protests that began Thursday night and spread across Dhaka. Naval Singh Parmar, Akashvani News, Dhaka.
The United States and Iran will hold a new round of nuclear talks in Oman today, just ahead of a visit to the region by President Donald Trump. The outcome of the new round is uncertain amid continuing US-Iran tensions and Washington's internal division over the Trump administration's Iran policy. Mr. Trump has voiced hope for reaching a deal with Tehran but has not excluded the military option, even as he sought to avert an Israeli military strike on Iran's nuclear program that could ignite a wider war. Mr. Trump is scheduled to visit Saudi Arabia, Qatar and the United Arab Emirates from May 13 to 16 on his first major Middle East trip of his second term. National Technology Day will be celebrated today. On this day in 1998, India successfully tested its nuclear bombs in Pokhran, Rajasthan. The day serves as a reminder of the pivotal role that technological advancements play in the country's progress and development. India Meteorological Department IMD has announced that the southwest monsoon is likely to arrive at the Kerala coast on May 27, 5 days earlier than its usual onset date of June the 1st. This early arrival is expected to have a positive impact on Kharif sowing season and brighten outlook for crops. Historically, an early monsoon has been favorable for agriculture by boosting farm production and reservoir levels. The IMD has also predicted that the 2025 monsoon could be above normal, quantitatively expected to reach 105% of the long period average. BCCI Vice President Rajiv Shukla has said the board officials and IPL Governing Council will discuss today the best possible schedule to complete the suspended T20 League following the announcement of a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. The board was forced to suspend the IPL on Friday, with 16 matches remaining as the India-Pakistan border conflict threatened to grow into a full-blown war following the Pahalgam terror attack and India's subsequent Operation Sindoor. A total of 12 league stage matches and 4 playoff stage matches are yet to be played in the tournament. The 72nd edition of the Miss World pageant officially began on an alluring note at the Gachibowli Indoor Stadium last evening in Hyderabad, with a vibrant showcase of Telangana's cultural heritage. Chief Minister A. Revant Reddy declared the event open after it started with the state anthem in the presence of Chairperson and CEO of the Miss World organization, Julia Molle, and reigning Miss World, Kristina Piziskova. Models participated in a catwalk parade where each Miss World contestant carried their national flag into the stadium. The opening ceremony was a colourful spectacle of folk and tribal dance traditions from across Telangana. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Tanvi Khurana.
Thank you, Saira. All papers are flooded with the developments at the border after Pakistan resumed shelling in some areas barely 3 hours after a ceasefire was confirmed by both India and Pakistan. 87 hours, 56 minutes and counting, writes Hindustan Times. The Asian Age headlines, India-Pakistan agreed to ceasefire after US effort but repeated violations by Pakistan. Any act of terror will be war, warns India, writes Sunday Pioneer. Delhi-bound Fateh missile shot down over Sirsa, writes the Sunday Tribune. Sunday Statesman writes, Masood Azhar's brothers-in-law, including man behind IC-814 hijacking among terrorists killed in Operation Sindoor. In some other news, the Sunday Statesman informs IMD forecasts onset of southwest monsoon over Kerala on 27th of May. And finally, on Mother's Day, the Economic Times writes a very interesting story, a roundup of succession and personal laws to inform and protect women against losing their rightful share in wealth and property. The Daily says, flowers, cake and gift of knowing inheritance rights for women. And with that, it's back to you, Saira.
Thank you, Tanvi. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri accuses Pakistan of repeated ceasefire violations, says Indian forces giving adequate and appropriate response to it. Union Home Secretary Govind Mohan holds meeting with Chief Secretaries of States sharing border with Pakistan. Southwest monsoon to hit Kerala coast earlier this year, brightening outlook for crops. Bangladesh interim government bans all activities of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's Awami League party. United States and Iran to hold fresh round of nuclear talks in Oman today. BCCI and IPL Governing Council to discuss a resumption of IPL 2025 following announcement of ceasefire between India and Pakistan. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.